Hello students, so today we are going to discuss about the thyroid gland. As you already know, the thyroid gland is the largest endocrine gland in our body. It is responsible for the secretion of the certain hormones, just like the T3, T4 and this calcitonin. Calcitonin is also called as thyrocalcitonin. Which are the hormone? T3, T4 and this calcitonin. It is also called as thyrocalcitonin. T3 triiodothyronine, T4 tetraiodothyronine. It is also called as the thyroid. Both T3 and T4 they are responsible for this maintenance of this basal metabolic rate in our body. Okay, and they are also responsible for maintenance of the psychosomatic growth. Psychosomatic growth. Okay, and the psychosomatic growth means it is responsible for the development of the skeletal and this nervous system. Then the thyrocalcitonin, it is responsible for calcium metabolism. Okay, these are the functions done by this hormone secreted by the thyroid gland. Though it is the largest endocrine gland, it is having this specific or this special features. Okay, which are the special features? Special. It is the largest endocrine gland having the rich blood supply. Having the rich blood supply. Another, it is a depend on the external source for the production of the hormone, which is those that is it depend upon this iodine, which is responsible for this production of this thyroid hormone. Another is, though it is a hormone produced, but it is not directly poured into circulation. It is first it is stored and then later on it enters into the circulation as and when required. It is stored first is hormone, and another is it is lying superficially in our body. Okay, all the endocrine glands present deep inside our body, but it is like the superficially in the neck region. So we can palpate in this physical examination during the clinical examination. Understand? So these are these special features of the thyroid glands. Okay. Now we will see the location of thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is located in the neck region, in the lower neck region, in front and this side of the neck, at the level of this C5 are opposite to C5, C6, C7 and T1 vertebrae. Let's see. So this is thyroid. This is thyroid. This is thyroid cartilage. This is cricoid cartilage, and below that there are the numerous tracheal region. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. It is oblique line. So the thyroid gland extends from the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage. So up to the level of this 6 tracheal region. Understand? This is the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage and the 6 tracheal ring. Let's see. So this is the level which is opposite to this vertebra. Which are those? This is C5, C6, C7 and T1 vertebra. Understand? Now let's see these external features of this thyroid gland. This thyroid gland is S-shaped. Gland. These are the two lobes. Here are the two lobes, which are united by or connected by means of this isthmus. Connected by means of isthmus. It is having this apex, it is having this base, and it is having these certain borders and surfaces. Let's see. This is having two borders. One is your anterior border, and this is considered as a posterior border. And here are these surfaces. If you cut this lobe in such a way, this is the anterior border, and this is posterior border. And these are the surfaces. Which are those? This is medial surface. This is lateral surface. Or you may call it a superficial surface, which is related to skin, and it is a posterior or the posterolateral surface. Okay, so these are the two borders and these three surfaces. The weight of the thyroid gland is about 25 grams, and its dimensions are 5 into 3 into 2 centimeters. Means its length is 5 centimeter, its width is 3 centimeter, and its thickness is 2 centimeter. Okay, and what about isthmus? Isthmus is also, so it is a horizontal or square shaped shape. It is having the dimension 1.25 into 1.25 centimeter. Means its length is about 1.25 centimeter, and its vertical diameter is also 1.25 centimeter. Okay. It is also having this two surface. One is having this. Consider this the isthmus. Then this is the your anterior surface, and this is the posterior surface. It is the superior border, and it is the inferior border. And this isthmus is rest on this. Let's see. This is the rest on the second, third, and fourth tracheal ring. Second, third, and the fourth tracheal ring. Understand? Okay. Then on the isthmus, sometimes there is the presence of the pyramidal shaped lobe. Okay, this pyramidal shaped lobe is connected to the hyoid bone by means of some fibrous band. This is called as levator glandulae thyroideum. This is called as levator thyroideum. Okay, levator thyroideum glandule. This is about the external feature of this thyroid gland. Okay. Now, next we will see about this fascia or the capsule of the thyroid gland. Okay. As you know, this thyroid gland enclosed in this capsule. Consider this is the thyroid gland. This thyroid gland enclosed in capsule. There are two types of capsule. One is the outer covering, that is called as procapsule. Okay, and the outer one or exterior is called as false capsule. This is true capsule. This true capsule is formed by condensation of the fibrous stroma of thyroid gland. And false capsule is formed by this pretracheal layer. Pretracheal layer of the deep cervical fascia. How? If this is the thyroid gland, and this pretracheal layer is enclosed in thyroid, it is having this splitting of this pretracheal layer. Now, fascia, which is goes. And false fascia, which goes on the posterior surface, it is a thin. Okay, and The fascia, which is present on the anterior surface, which is the thick and attached to the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage. Okay, and sometimes hyoid bone also. Understand? Sometimes this fibrous capsule is attached to fibrous capsule of the medial size is attached to this cricoid cartilage and it forms the suspensory ligament of the vein. This is a trachea, this is esophagus, and here is your thyroid. It is connected to the cricoid cartilage by means of this fibers. I repeat again. This is called as suspensory ligament of vein. Called as suspensory ligament of vein. Okay. So this is about your capsule. One more important thing is below the true capsule there is a presence of this deep venous patches. It is a deep venous patches. The deep venous patches. So during the thyroidectomy, if you have to remove so much portion during the thyroidectomy, you have to remove along with this true capsule. Okay, why it is so? To prevent this excessive hemorrhage during this thyroidectomy. Understand? Now we will see the relation of this thyroid gland. As you know already, it is having this apex, base, anterior border, posterior border, and here are the surfaces: medial surface, lateral surface, and superficial surface, and this posterolateral surface. So, what are the relation of the apex? Apex is attached or present to oblique line of thyroid cartilage. To the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage, here is the presence of these some muscles. Which are those? Which are those? One is your sternothyroid muscle, another is thyroid muscle, and inferior constrictor muscle. Inferior constrictor muscle. Okay, so this apex is present in between the sternothyroid muscle and the inferior constrictor muscle. Yes, this is the thyroid muscle, the inferior constrictor muscle, and the sternothyroid muscle. The apex is present in between these two muscles. Apex is present in between these two muscles. Inferior constrictor and this sternothyroid and this inferior constrictor. Okay, the base is related to fifth and sixth tracheal vein. Understand? Then it is on this surface. This is medial surface. This medial surface is related to, let's see, this is tracheal vein, and here is the esophagus, and in between the recurrent laryngeal nerve. Here is the gland, thyroid gland, which is related to sternothyroid muscle, thyroid muscle, superior belly of the omohyoid, and uppermost is sternocleidomastoid muscle. The same interface of this is sternothyroid muscle, thyroid muscle, superior belly of the omohyoid, and sternocleidomastoid muscle. On the opposite side, on the posterior side, there is a presence of There is a presence of carotid sheath along with internal carotid artery and interjugular vein and intercarotid artery with this vagus nerve. Sympathetic plexus. So, what are this relation of the medial surface? Or the first is the relation of the lateral surface. Relation of the lateral surface, these are the which muscle? Sternothyroid muscle. Okay. Then thyroid muscle, superior biliomoid muscle, and the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Understand? And on the medial surface, there is the presence of the trachea, some part of the esophagus, and this recurrent laryngeal nerve. There is one more structure which is related to medial surface. Which is those? This is the thyroid and this is the precal cartilage. Okay, and then we have the tracheal tube. So which muscle? This muscle is your inferior constrictor muscle, and another is your pectoralis muscle. And obviously, this is the esophagus. This fiber is esophagus. So these are this muscle fiber of inferior constrictor and the pectoralis. So these two muscles are related to medial surface. Okay. So these are the relation of the medial. Then third surface is your posterolateral surface. On the posterolateral surface, the structure related are carotid sheath, which is contained. Which are those? Carotid sheath is interjugular vein, internal carotid artery, vagus nerve, and the sympathetic plexus on the outside the carotid sheath. There is also ansa cervicalis in the carotid sheath. Okay, so these are the relation of this thyroid lobe. Now we will see the relation of the isthmus. So isthmus is a band structure. Okay, anterior surface, posterior surface, superior border, and inferior border. On the anterior surface, it is again related to these muscles. Which are the sternothyroid muscle? Sternothyroid muscle, thyroid muscle, and then again some part of the sternocleidomastoid. Okay. On the posterior surface, again it is related to your second, third, and fourth tracheal vein. On the superior surface is related to the anterior branch of the superior thyroid artery, and inferiorly is related to this your thyroid artery or this inferior thyroid vein, which we will see in this circulation. Okay. So these are these relation of thyroid gland. Understand? Now we will see the blood supply, venous drainage, nerve supply, and the lymphatic drainage. This is the thyroid gland. Isthmus, and here is another lobe. Here is carotid artery, external and internal carotid artery, external and internal carotid artery on the either side. Here is a branch that is the superior thyroid artery, which is divided into two parts. One is your anterior branch going toward the isthmus, and this is the posterior branch. Okay, so this is the superior thyroid artery, which divided into anterior branch, and here is your posterior branch. Then Let's see. This is arch of the aorta, which is supplementary. Okay, and here is your common character and this is brachiocephalic drum. Okay, and it is again due to thyrocervical drum. From this thyrocervical drum, it gives one branch which goes toward this lower body. So this is called as inferior thyroid. So here from this side, there is one more branch which is goes. In the thyrocervical drum, three branches. The uppermost branch are the branch. This supplied to the lower lobe. This is called as inferior thyroid artery. Understand? And then another branch is thyroid artery, which is sometimes arise from the brachiocephalic drum or this arch of the aorta, which is again supplied to this isthmus, goes toward the isthmus. This is called as thyroid lima artery. And the fourth one is these are the numerous small branches. These are arranged from this at the tracheal or this esophageal arteries. Okay. So this is your blood supply. Let's see the venous veins. Again, here is the lobes, thyroid lobe connected by means of the isthmus. And on the other side there are the two internal jugular vein which drain into brachiocephalic vein. This is the brachiocephalic vein, right and left brachiocephalic vein. This is internal jugular vein. So which are the veins? Upper part is drained into by superior thyroid vein. It is middle part drained by this sinus. This is the middle superior thyroid vein. This is the middle thyroid vein, and lower one from the isthmus there is the formation of the plexus and which is drained into this left brachiocephalic vein, and this is called as inferior thyroid vein. There is one more vein present in between this middle and the inferior thyroid vein, that is called as fourth vein of the porch. This is called as fourth vein of this porch. Okay, so this is about this venous drainage. We drain into superior thyroid vein, middle thyroid vein, and inferior thyroid vein, and the fourth vein of this porch, which is ultimately drained into the internal jugular vein, which later goes into this brachiocephalic vein and later of this vena cava. Okay. Now we will see this nerve supply. This thyroid gland having this both parasympathetic and this sympathetic nerve supply. Parasympathetic fiber passing through this vagus nerve and this recurrent laryngeal nerve. Okay, and the sympathetic fibers are passes through the superior, middle, and the inferior cervical ganglia, mostly from this middle cervical ganglia. Understand? Okay. Then the lymphatic drainage. This thyroid gland is we divide into two parts, upper part and this lower part. This upper part is draining. This is the again thyroid gland connected by means of this isthmus. It is into two sides. In the upper part drain into this is pre-laryngeal inflow. Okay, this lower part drain into pre-tracheal lobe. Okay, from the pre-laryngeal lymph node is again drain into jugulodiaphragmatic lymph node. Jugulodiaphragmatic of the deep cervical lymph node. Okay, and from this lower side or the pre-tracheal lymph node is again drained into our lower part is again drained by this lymph node along the recurrent laryngeal nerve. Lymph node along this recurrent laryngeal nerve. Okay, are also drained into jugulo-omohyoid node. It drains into jugulo-omohyoid node. Okay, and they ultimately drain into, this is the retrosternal group of this lymph node, or you may call it as brachiocephalic retrosternal group of this lymph node. Okay, so this is about your lymphatic drainage. Understand? Means upper part drain into pre-laryngeal lymph node and lower part drain into pre-tracheal lymph node, or along lymph node corresponding with the recurrent laryngeal jugulo-omohyoid node, which ultimately drain into the retrosternal group of this lymph node. Okay, so this is about your the blood supply, venous drainage, nerve supply, and the lymphatic drainage. We will see what is the relation of this laryngeal nerve, okay, along with the superior and inferior thyroid artery. So this is vagus nerve. It gives you branches, that is superior laryngeal nerve, which gives the internal laryngeal nerve and this external laryngeal nerve. Okay, internal laryngeal nerve and the external laryngeal nerve. And from the lower side, there is one more branch that is called as recurrent laryngeal nerve. Okay, recurrent. So if you have to ligate the superior thyroid artery during this operative procedure, you have to ligate near the apex, because the nerves are get separated here. Okay, and towards the base, if you have to ligate the inferior thyroid artery, you have to ligate the inferior thyroid artery away from the base, because the laryngeal nerve, recurrent laryngeal nerve is close to inferior thyroid artery. That is the importance during this operative procedure, just like this thyroidectomy. Understand? Right now we will see the applied part, clinical anatomy of this thyroid gland. Okay, what is the important is that is a goiter. So what do you mean by goiter? Any enlargement of the thyroid gland is called as goiter. Any enlargement of the thyroid gland, except in the menstruation or during the pregnancy. During the menstruation or pregnancy, it is enlarged little bit, but it is not so significant. But any enlargement, it is called as goiter. Okay. Then during goiter, the level of the hormones will get deteriorated. There are either increasing the level of the hormone, that is called hyperthyroidism, okay, or this decreasing the level of the hormone, that is called as the hypothyroidism. Okay, then hypothyroidism, the T3 and T4 level is increases, that is called as thyrotoxicosis, which may result in the certain problem, just like the increased tachycardia or tremors or the some systolic groups. These are the various presentation. And in hypothyroidism, okay, this T3 and the T4 level is decreases. Okay? This results in the cretinism in small children and myxedema in adults. Okay. Then another is sometimes goiter occur due to iodine deficiency. We always insist to take the iodine in our diet. Why? Because due to deficiency of the iodine, it results in this enlargement of the thyroid gland. This is called as again goiter. Goiter is also result for pressure symptoms. Okay, it results for pressure symptoms. Why? Pressure symptoms is if the thyroid gland is enlarged, it will compress on the trachea, esophagus. If it is on esophagus, this is called the dysphagia. If it compresses the trachea, then it results in the dyspnea. Okay? If compresses the larynx, it causes the dysphonia, dysphagia, dyspnea. These are these pressure symptoms. Dysphonia, this. Okay. Then another is you already see where to you have to like this, that is near the apex. Superior thyroid artery you have to like it near the apex, and inferior thyroid artery away from this base. Okay. Then sometimes the thyroid gland, you already know thyroid gland is developed from the thyroglossal duct. If the thyroglossal duct gets persistent, it results in this thyroid cyst, or you may call it as the thyroglossal fistula. Okay, thyroglossal cyst or thyroglossal fistula. Another is thyroglossal cyst or fistula. This thyroid gland is attached to the laryngeal cartilage and held by means of this fibrous capsule. Okay, so that this during the deglutition, this gland moves up and down, moves up and down. Okay, so we have to differentiate the thyroid swelling from the other swelling, which do not move with this deglutition. Okay, that is the basic difference between the thyroid swelling and these other neck swellings or other neck swellings. Okay, so these are the some applied parts of the thyroid gland. Okay, I hope you understand the topic very well. We take some brief idea or they revise in brief time. Okay, this thyroid gland is the largest endocrine gland. It is responsible for the secretion of the hormone T3, T4 and the thyrocalcitonin, which is responsible for the basal metabolic rate, development of the skeletal and the nervous system, and the calcium metabolism. It is having certain specific features like it is present superficially, it depends upon the iodine. Okay, it is having the larger blood supply, it stores the hormone before we pour into the circulation. Okay, it is having this location in front of the neck opposite to C5, C6, C7 and T1 vertebrae. In the external features, it is having this, it is a H shape pyramidal lobe connected by means of this isthmus. It is having the apex, it is having the base, it is having the two border, anterior border, posterior border, medial surface, lateral surface and the posterior surface. Weight is about 25 gram and dimension of the 5 into 3 into 2 centimeter. The same in the case of this isthmus. It is having the anterior surface, posterior surface, superior border, inferior border, and weight dimension about the 1.25 to 1.25 centimeter. Okay. Then relations you already know. It is related to muscle, that is sternothyroid, thyroid, and the sternocleidomastoid, omohyoid, and this lateral aspect, trachea and esophagus on the medial aspect. Okay. Then the carotid sheath along with this contained on the posterolateral aspect. Then its blood supply. It is supplied by the superior thyroid gland. It is supplied by the inferior thyroid gland. It is supplied by this thyroid artery and numerous small branches, that is the tracheal and esophageal branches. Venous drainage into the superior thyroid gland, middle thyroid gland and inferior thyroid gland, and into drain into fourth vein of this posture, which is ultimately drain into inferior jugular vein, internal jugular vein. Then the nerve supply by these parasympathetic, sympathetic fibers, parasympathetic by vagus and recurrent laryngeal, and the sympathetic by means of superior, middle and inferior cervical. Okay, and so as the lymphatic drainage, it is drained into this prelaryngeal and this pretracheal lymph node, which is ultimately drained into this jugulo-digastric and jugulo-omohyoid, and which is ultimately drained into the retrosternal group of this lymph node. And lastly about your applied part, that is called and some hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism, thyroid swelling which moves up and down during swallowing. Okay, and some pressure swing just like the dyspnea, dysphagia. Okay, and dysphonia. There is one more, is the tracheostomy. Okay, and these are some important applied part or applied anatomy of this thyroid gland. I hope you understand this topic very well. If you have any queries, please feel free to ask me. Okay, thank you.